Netflix's algorithm keeps pushing the same period dramas while dozens of exceptional Victorian-era films sit buried in their catalogue. From Oscar Wilde's wit to tragic romances, from literary classics to untold true stories, these 14 movies offer everything you loved about Bridgerton and Downton without everyone already talking about them. Time to discover Netflix's hidden Victorian treasures. Lies We Tell, 2023. This atmospheric thriller set in Victorian London follows a struggling writer who becomes entangled in deception when she agrees to ghostwrite the memoirs of a mysterious aristocrat. As she delves deeper into her client's past, she uncovers dark secrets threatening both their lives. The film brilliantly captures Victorian London's foggy streets and rigid class divisions while delivering modern psychological suspense. The lead performance brings complexity to a woman navigating limited options in a society restricting female independence. What sets this apart is its exploration of truth versus storytelling, how narratives shape reality and who controls their own story. The production design authentically recreates Victorian poverty alongside aristocratic wealth, emphasizing stark contrasts defining the era. It's a fresh take on period drama, blending Gothic atmosphere with contemporary thriller pacing, proving Netflix has hidden gems beyond the heavily promoted titles. An Ideal Husband, 1999. Rupert Everett, Cate Blanchett and Julianne Moore star in this sparkling adaptation of Oscar Wilde's comedy about political scandal and moral hypocrisy in Victorian high society. When a mysterious woman threatens to expose a government minister's past corruption, his perfect marriage and career hang in the balance. Director Oliver Parker brings Wilde's razor-sharp wit to vivid life, with every line crackling with intelligence and irony. Blanchett is luminous as the seemingly perfect wife, who must grapple with her husband's feet of clay. The film captures Wilde's fundamental critique of Victorian morality, that everyone has secrets and perfection is performance. The costumes are sumptuous, the dialogue endlessly quotable, and the ensemble cast clearly relishes Wilde's wordplay. What makes this special is how timeless the themes remain. Political corruption, marital expectations, and social hypocrisy haven't changed much. Anna Karenina, 2012. Joe Wright's bold adaptation of Tolstoy's masterpiece reimagines the tragic love story as theatrical performance, with action literally set on a stage. Keira Knightley delivers career-best work as Anna, the aristocratic woman who destroys her life for passion, while Jude Law brings unexpected sympathy to her cuckolded husband. What makes this version revolutionary is its self-conscious artificiality. By staging scenes theatrically, Wright emphasizes how Victorian society was itself performance with rigid rules. The choreography is stunning, with characters moving through seamlessly shifting sets, blending ballroom with train station with countryside. Aaron Taylor-Johnson shines as Vronsky, Anna's dashing but ultimately shallow lover. While purists criticize the theatrical framing, it creates visual poetry, making a familiar story feel urgent and new. The film doesn't shy from the novel's darkness or Anna's ultimate fate, delivering gut-wrenching tragedy alongside breathtaking beauty. Washington Square, 1997. Jennifer Jason Leigh and Albert Finney star in this heartbreaking adaptation of Henry James's novel, about a plain, wealthy young woman courted by a charming suitor her domineering father believes is a fortune hunter. Set in 1850s New York, the film explores how parental cruelty and romantic betrayal shape a woman's life. Leigh brings painful vulnerability to Catherine Sloper, a woman whose father's contempt has convinced her she's unlovable. Finney is chilling as Dr. Sloper, a man whose wit masks genuine cruelty toward his disappointing daughter. Ben Chaplin plays the ambiguous suitor. Is he sincere or mercenary? The film leaves the question tantalizingly open. What distinguishes this adaptation is its focus on psychological damage rather than romantic resolution. The period details capture upper-class New York's stifling propriety, where money and reputation trump happiness. It's a devastating portrait of how Victorian patriarchy damaged women emotionally. Blackthorn, 2011. This revisionist Western imagines that Butch Cassidy survived his famous Bolivian shootout and lived quietly in exile for 20 years before attempting one final journey home. Sam Shepard delivers weathered charisma as the aging outlaw who reluctantly partners with a young thief after a robbery goes wrong. Set in 1920s Bolivia, the film alternates between Cassidy's present struggles and flashbacks to his legendary partnership with the Sundance Kid. What makes Blackthorn exceptional is its meditation on aging, regret, and whether you can truly escape your past. The Bolivian landscapes are stunningly photographed, emphasizing both beauty and isolation. While not strictly Victorian era, it captures the end of the Old West period that shaped Victorian America's mythology. Shepherd brings genuine pathos to a man who outlived his legend and now just wants to go home. It's a melancholy, beautifully made film deserving recognition alongside great revisionist westerns. Copper, 2012. This gritty crime drama follows an Irish immigrant detective navigating corruption, class warfare, and personal tragedy in 1860s New York's Five Points neighborhood. Tom Weston-Jones stars as Kevin Corcoran, a Civil War veteran returning to find his daughter murdered and his wife vanished. The series brilliantly recreates the era's brutal reality: child labor, rampant prostitution, political corruption, and ethnic tensions between Irish African Americans and native-born Americans. What sets Copper apart is its unflinching examination of urban poverty and violence. The production design captures five-point squalor without romanticizing poverty for aesthetic purposes. The mysteries are compelling, but character drama drives the narrative as Corcoran pursues justice while battling his own demons. Despite critical praise, the series was cancelled after 2 seasons, making it a hidden gem for viewers seeking historically grounded crime drama that doesn't sanitize the Victorian era's darker realities. Ethan Frome, 1993. Liam Neeson, Patricia Arquette, and Joan Allen star in this devastating adaptation of Edith Wharton's novella about forbidden love and crushing poverty in rural Massachusetts. Neeson plays Ethan, a farmer trapped in a loveless marriage to his hypochondriac wife when her young cousin arrives and awakens long-dormant emotions. The film captures the brutal isolation of winter in rural New England, where poverty and duty imprison people as surely as physical walls. Allen brings complexity to the wife Xena, a woman whose bitterness stems from her own disappointed hopes. What makes Ethan Frome gut-wrenching is its exploration of how circumstance destroys people. Ethan isn't weak but genuinely trapped by economics and social obligation. The famous sledding scene delivers one of cinema's most shocking conclusions. This is period drama at its most austere and honest, refusing happy endings or easy answers about love, duty, and the price of passion. Field of Lost Shoes, 2014. This Civil War drama tells the true story of teenage cadets from Virginia Military Institute forced into battle at New Market in 1864. The film focuses on young soldiers who should have been studying but instead faced veteran Union troops in desperate Confederate attempt to hold the Shenandoah Valley. What distinguishes this from typical war films is its focus on youth. These are boys playing soldier until suddenly they're not. The battle sequences are well staged on modest budget, emphasizing chaos and terror over glory. The film doesn't glorify the Confederate cause, but examines how ordinary Southerners were swept into tragedy, with young men dying for leaders' decisions. The Cadet Corps actually helped win the battle, but the film emphasizes the cost boys lost limbs, lives, and innocence in an afternoon. It's a thoughtful examination of how war destroys youth, and a reminder that Civil War history is more complex than modern politics sometimes allows. The Invisible Woman, 2013. Ralph Fiennes directs and stars in this elegant drama about Charles Dickens' secret affair with young actress Nellie Ternan. Felicity Jones delivers a luminous performance as Nellie, who becomes the famous author's mistress while he's still married, then lives in obscurity after his death. The film focuses on the emotional cost of being erased from history. Nellie loved Dickens, but couldn't publicly acknowledge their relationship or grieve his loss. What makes this exceptional is its refusal to romanticize the affair. Dickens is portrayed as selfish and manipulative despite his genius. The Victorian setting captures both literary celebrity culture and the brutal double standards women faced. Jones conveys Nellie's internal conflict beautifully, pride in being loved by a great man warring with shame over her position. The cinematography is gorgeous, all muted colors and candlelight. It's a thoughtful examination of how powerful men's stories get told while the women in their lives disappear from history. Great Expectations, 2011. This BBC adaptation of Dickens' masterpiece brings fresh energy to the familiar story of orphan Pip's journey from poverty to gentleman. Douglas Booth and Jeremy Irvine play young and adult Pip with appealing vulnerability, while Gillian Anderson is mesmerizing as the mad Miss Havisham. The production design vividly contrasts the Kent Marsh's bleakness with London's smoky grandeur and Satis House's Gothic decay. What distinguishes this version is its emphasis on class mobility's psychological cost. Pip's transformation into a gentleman requires rejecting his origins, creating shame that poisons his relationships. Vanessa Kirby brings complexity to Estella, making her more than just the cold beauty who breaks Pip's heart. The supporting cast, particularly Ray Winstone as the convict Magwitch, adds emotional depth. While not as bold as other recent adaptations, This Great Expectations succeeds through strong performances and faithful storytelling that lets Dickens' plot work its magic. It's accessible for newcomers while satisfying purists. Hatfields and McCoys, 2012. Kevin Costner and Bill Paxton star in this epic miniseries about America's most famous family feud, which escalated from Civil War tensions into a decades-long blood vendetta. Costner brings gravitas to Devil Anse Hatfield, the clan patriarch whose pride and stubbornness perpetuate violence, while Paxton matches him as Randall McCoy, equally determined to avenge perceived wrongs. The production captures post-Civil War Appalachia's poverty and isolation, showing how limited resources and absent law enforcement let personal grievances explode into warfare. What makes this exceptional is its refusal to pick sides. Both families are sympathetic and monstrous. Trapped in escalating retaliation, neither can escape. The battle sequences are brutal and well choreographed, emphasizing the senseless tragedy of neighbors killing each other over ancient slights. Tom Berenger and Mayor Winningham provide strong support as family members trying to end the violence. It's an epic examination of how hatred perpetuates across generations and how pride can destroy everything. Her Majesty, Mrs. Brown, 1997. Judi Dench delivers an Oscar-nominated performance as Queen Victoria, who emerges from depression following Prince Albert's death through her controversial friendship with Scottish servant John Brown. Billy Connolly is revelation as Brown, bringing rough humour and genuine affection to a man who treats Victoria as a woman rather than an icon. The film explores the scandal their closeness created. Court officials and family members saw Brown as inappropriate influence, possibly even lover. What makes this special is its focus on grief and loneliness at the highest levels of power. Dench shows Victoria as a woman paralysed by loss, with Brown's blunt honesty breaking through her isolation when propriety and sympathy failed. The Scottish Highland settings are gorgeously photographed, emphasising both wildness and escape from London's stifling protocol. It's an intimate character study that humanises historical figures while acknowledging the restrictions Victorian morality imposed. The chemistry between Dench and Connolly makes their bond believable and moving. Jane Eyre, 1996. Charlotte Gainsbourg and William Hurt star in Franco Zeffirelli's lush adaptation of Bronte's classic about an orphaned governess who falls for her mysterious employer. Gainsbourg brings intelligence and spirit to Jane, making her more than the passive Victorian heroine some adaptations present. Hurt's Rochester is appropriately brooding and damaged, with their chemistry making the romance believable despite the age difference and power imbalance. The film captures Thornfield Hall's Gothic atmosphere, with its dark corridors and hidden secrets creating genuine suspense. What distinguishes this version is its emphasis on Jane's integrity. She refuses to compromise her principles even for love, making her ultimate happiness earned rather than granted. The supporting cast brings Bronte's vivid secondary characters to life, particularly Joan Plowright as the housekeeper Mrs. Fairfax. While perhaps too conventionally romantic for some tastes, Zeffirelli's Jane Eyre remains emotionally satisfying and visually sumptuous, a solid entry in the crowded field of Bronte adaptations. Marie's Story, 2014. This French drama tells the true story of Marie Hurtin, a deaf and blind girl in late 19th century France, whose family considers institutionalizing her until a young nun undertakes her education. Ariana Rivoire gives an extraordinary performance as Marie, conveying her frustration and gradual awakening to language and connection. Isabelle Carré is equally impressive as Sister Marguerite, whose patience and innovation help Marie break through isolation. What makes this remarkable is its focus on communication's fundamental importance without language. Marie is trapped inside herself, raging against incomprehensible barriers. The film doesn't sentimentalize disability, but honestly portrays the immense challenges both student and teacher faced. Shot in beautiful French countryside locations, the cinematography emphasizes both the convent's tranquility and Marie's internal chaos. It's a quiet, deeply moving film about human connection and education's transformative power. Despite winning awards in France, it remains largely unknown to English-speaking audiences, making it a genuine hidden treasure on Netflix.